Hi, so we're back here at TechCrunch Disrupt in San Francisco 2012 at the concourse, and we're talking to a lot of startups today, and we just happened to glance over here, and it's a company called Kompany. So let's talk about your startup, and what do you guys do?
Well, Kompany is a very young startup. We were founded just 6 months ago, and we provide a self-service platform for international business background information. So, as a business owner, if you're conducting business cross-border, would like to know, more about the company that you are doing business with. What's the company like? Is it existing? Is it active? Who are the shareholders? Information about the credit risk and the credit scoring, or about financial information of this company. And we will provide this through a self-service online platform on a global basis in multiple countries and multiple languages.
So who are your customers, would you say? Would you say it's American companies, companies abroad, or a mix of both?
Well, we're starting right now with coverage in Europe. So we cover about 20 million companies right now to ensure that companies that are conducting business with one another can actually do a background check to make sure that the company exists, as Bernhard said, but also to look a little bit about at the credit rating and the credit scores. And the main audience are clearly not the institutional. So what I can tell you is it's not the banks and not the insurance companies or the leasing companies. What it actually is, people that are conducting business. Conducting business may be for a $10,000 or $20,000 transaction. They want to know, well, is that vendor a valid vendor? Or is that customer who just ordered, $10,000 worth of ball bearings actually somebody I want to do business with, and can I afford to send the products to them, or do I need to get prepaid or a down payment or a security deposit or escrow?
And how long have you been out there?
Well, we just launched this morning in UK, and we're going to roll out more countries by next month. We are going to offer official government information in more than 20 European countries. We're going into Germany, and we will be in the US starting next year.
And was it very difficult to work with the government to get that data and integrate it into your system?
Well, depending on the country. UK was very easy. Some other countries, it's it's not difficult to work with them, but it's very hard to sometimes retrieve that information. And that's also one key benefit we want to provide, the access to such information. So the information comes from the official government sources, and on one side, and comes from credit rating agencies that we license the content from the other side.
And so, well, how did you figure out that this was something that was needed out there, and that companies would want this, or business people that want to do business somewhere would want this?
If we look at the past 10 years, we're a pretty international bunch. So the founders are from Austria, the US, UK, and we've always been in this situation because we've worked in more than 25 countries already. And sometimes we got requests, or we needed to verify a company. So the reason why we built companies is because we've been in a situation so often that we could not verify the existence or the validity of a request or another company cross-border. But sometimes even in the country we're operating in. So if we're in the US, we couldn't even verify if that company is really incorporated in the state of Maryland, for example, and also get the credit information right then when we needed it. We had to do some research or consult one of the credit reporting agencies. So from our own need, we said, well, there must be a larger need. So we did our research, and then earlier this year we said, we got to build this company. And then we decided, well, what is the name going to be? We said, well, it's all about company, so let's call it Kompany. And it's called Kompany.com.
And so what is the competitive landscape out there for you?
Well, it's dominated mainly by the credit reporting agencies who have been servicing the same medium-sized and large enterprises for the past, up to 100 years, right? So 80, 90 years. And there are some companies that are offering services with credit reports, but it's very singular in the setup. So we also see in the UK it's competitive from the standpoint that there is a need, and there are 10 companies already in the marketplace, but there is no pan-European or North American company that is addressing the small and medium-sized enterprise and something we call the prosumers, the professional consumers. Because we're clearly not a B2C site, right? We're not a B2C service, but we're also not a B2B service. It's about the prosumer, people that are engaged in business. So the landscape is competitive in a singular way, but not in the whole setup that we're actually trying to go in.
So you might look at consultants, professionals that are abroad that would try to assist other, say, an American company that wants to get into the Philippines. They would probably want to use this service, correct?
Exactly. Yeah, and it's a background search initially, so if you're trying to scout for partners and so forth, but it's really about the request. And we have the globalization on one hand where everybody throws their arms up and say, oh my God, the globalization is taking away jobs, but it's actually creating jobs as well. And at the same time, the trust between the companies is very low, though. So in order to mitigate that, you need to know who you're dealing with. And that's where Kompany comes in and offers you a quick check, instant information about possible partner.
And let's talk about your team. How did you meet each other, and when did you form the team?
That's a long story. Russell and I know each other now for like 12 years. We have been working together on 5 startups already. Some didn't go well, some went very well, and this is now our next big story. And together with 2 other people, it's Peter Bainbridge-Clayton, who is British. He's our CTO, and we also have been working together for about a little bit longer, but 12, 13 years. And then Iris Pittel, she's our COO, and we have been working together for 4 years. And all of us have a lot of experience in the online and digital media industry. And now we finally came together again after a couple of years, and we are pulling this off now.
Excellent. Well, congratulations on the launch. Are you planning, have you raised any funding, or are you planning to raise more?
Yes, so we launched the company about 6 months ago, right? So we incorporated and so forth, and we've already gone through 2 funding rounds. One was through the founders and the founding team, and we also successfully closed the startup round in June, and we raised about $1.3 million already, and that'll carry us actually through the entire product development and the rollout in 5 countries. And after that, we're going to go through another, or that's what's planned at least, another funding round in order to focus on the product and to hit our target of offering the service in 20 countries.
Where are you based right now?
We've all combined forces in Vienna, Austria.
Great. And are your investors in Europe or American investors?
Mainly European investors at this point.
Are you looking to raise funding here in the U.S. to help you target the market here?
That absolutely makes sense, because we're planning to go into the U.S. market early next year, and that is of course capital intensive because the landscape is a little bit different, but the market is just absolutely huge. So yes, we will be also looking at U.S. investors in order to set up shop here.
So now that you've launched and you told us about your investment plan or to get more funding, what is your plan for the product itself?
Well, you're responsible for product management.
That's you.
Well, right now it's an aggregation and licensing of existing data, which we're compiling instantly and offering it. But what's next is going to be that we'll be filling in the blanks where there's no coverage or where there's content missing. And we're going to do that initially by integrating third-party databases that fit in quite well, but also generate services that will allow us to verify the balance sheets of companies. So we're creating our own content, and we'll be able to give a historical view also.
Excellent. And?
Long term, we are looking into the company graph, which is, imagine you have identified one company on a global level uniquely, and as we are adding more deep web databases, we can enrich that content of that specific company by adding different sources. And in the future, we would like to have kind of a spiderweb view on that specific company, so that you see this is the company and those are the managing directors attached to this company. And then you also see Russell Perry is managing director in Kompany, but he's also managing director in another company. So you can browse through the whole environment, ecosystem of one single company on a global level.
And also it's a friendly way to showcase all that data that you're bringing in from multiple resources. So like really visualizing this data
Usability is
for,
key.
great.
Because that's not given today. You know, it's very hard to retrieve that information, and it's not very usable. We want to ease the access to this information for that specific target group of small and medium-sized enterprises.
Excellent. Well, if people want to know more about your company or company, where should they go?
Well, just go to company.com with a K.
Well, thank you so much, Russell.
Stay in good
thank you for
company. That's it. Join us and stay in good company.
we got a lot of motos here.
No, there's only one.
There's only one. Great. Well, have a good luck on your. Well,
you very much.
congratulations on your launch, and
you.
good luck on the product development and marketing efforts as well. So,
Thank you very much.
thank you. See you later.